Good morning to one and all. Today's topic is related to modes and characteristics of grouting materials and techniques. The previous class we discussed the different techniques and different factors involved in these grouting techniques. First of all, we have to know grouting is a technique which involves in the densification of a solid whenever the soil is having some quantity of voids. We have to decrease those content of voids by filling this liquid material. That means not completely liquid and not completely solid. Those are simply a semi solid materials. Those materials we have to inject with the help of compression forces so that those voids will be filled with the help of this slurry or any other semi solid material. Normally whenever we are having a project to construct a particular land, those lands having huge quantity of voids, due to the self weight of a structure there may be some sinking of a structure will be takes place. To control those sinking phenomena we need to adjust. It means the total void is present at far depth from the ground level, so that it is not possible to remove the total content of soil, and we have to go for filling. In those cases we have to do a small point of drilling hole into the structure, and we have to pump these semi solid materials which will having a capability of filling property, so that due to those filling property of these materials, the total material will be settled down at the content of voids, and the total soil will be in a densification mode, so that we have to go for construction without any risky conditions. The growth to sustainable, that means the growth to subsequency hardens, increases the strength and decreases the compressibility and permeability. Increases the strength, that means if there is no voids, automatically we have to apply a huge quantity of load conditions, and it will decreases the compressibility. That means compressibility means if there is a void, automatically whenever we are applying a load, there will be some compressive force. Due to this compressive forces, the size of this earth will be decreases due to presence of this air and water content in the voids, so that due to this grouting techniques there may be some decrease in the compressibility properties and permeability also. Permeability means the voids are having, automatically those voids will absorb this content of water, so that there will be a permeability whenever we are having voids. And we have to observe these modes. It means different methods involved in these grouting techniques. First of all, this permeation of penetration. That means permeation or penetration means the quantity of liquid will be able to flow through this gap. Normally grout flows into the soil voids freely without a minimum effect. That means without a minimum effect means we are not giving an artificial compressive force. Normally if we are having a water, so that due to natural slope the water will be moved from high altitudes to low altitudes. Some of the materials will not move because of they are having huge amount of density, and they will be simply standing in a particular position, and there is no moving. So that in this particular permeation or penetration technique, the grouting materials will be flowing from top positions to bottom position without any application of forces. And next one is the compaction or controlled displacement. Compaction means we are giving some quantity of external force. Due to those application of external force there will be compaction and a controlled displacement. Here the grout remains more or less intact as a mass and exert pressure on the soil. Here grout remains more or less intact as a mass, means there will be no difference in this particular mass of the grout material, but that material will exert, means that will give some quantity of pressure on the soil, while the material will be transferred from normal, that means while the material is transferred from ground level to this void content, whenever we are having void, so that there will be some pressure required and compaction required to pump that slurry material into a void. Next one, hydraulic fracturing or uncontrolled displacement. Uncontrolled displacement means we have to use a large quantity of hydraulic forces. Especially these quantities of hydraulic forces we have to observe while we are operating a crane. That means normally cranes having a huge tendency to lift a large weights in terms of tons and tons. Why? Because due to this hydraulic activities and fractures. Grout rapidly penetrates into the fractured zone created when the grout pressure is greater than the tensile strength of the soil or rock. Normally, tensile strength means the force which is applied away, the force which is applied away from the center. Toward the center means compressive force. Away from the center means a tensile force. So that this hydraulic fracturing we have doing against these tension forces, so that there will be some zone created when this grout pressure is greater than the tensile strength of the zone, that means material. Normally if there is a fold or fault or any other leakage between the rock strata, automatically those rock strata is able to fall from high altitude to low altitude, or any other fracture maybe takes place due to these folds and falls are formed in the rocky strata. We have to control those accidents simply by using these grouting materials, and we have to go for filling of those groutings, that means voids. This is the one of the best example in the grout, that means the total materials are simply pumping from top of the ground level to this void. That means whenever we are having a void, so that we are have to observe three kinds of figure in this particular diagram. First one is having some quantity of grouting materials which is pumped through this grout pipe, so that there will be some uniform distribution of these grouting materials into this void content. Okay, that method we will call it as a permeation grouting or penetration. Due to this natural gravitational force, the total material will be filling in the grout, that means void content. But in case of second, the total is compaction grouting or controlled displacement. That means compaction means there may be some external pressure will be utilized for the purpose of filling this void content, so that the pressure will be observed in the directions of arrows. From the center point we are having different arrows, so that those arrows will be dispersing the grouting materials into different directions and filling the void content. But in case of third diagram, we are having this hydraulic fracturing. That means a huge quantity of force is utilized for the purpose of spreading these grout materials in the void content. Likely we are having different branches, a totally 5 branches with some sub branches are there. That means the lines are simply observed like a branches of a tree. That means simply a root system we have to assume. In the particular root system, the total material will be dispersed in different directions. Those dispersions also takes place whenever we are having a weak zone. That means a weak zone is there, automatically material will be dispersed into those weak zones, and it will expands automatically. After some time, it will give strength to that particular area by filling action. This is the three types of grouting techniques we have to observe, means modes. And next one is we have discussed the different modes of transferring of this grouting materials. First one is due to this normal action without any pressure. Second one, we are using some compressive force, and third one is entirely related to this hydraulic filling of the void. Those are the different modes. After the modes are over, we have to go for this grouting material and its characteristics. First of all, different materials we are using, and in India we are having different quantities of soil, so that for every soil same material is not suitable for the purpose of utilization and filling, so that we have to go for different quantities of materials with different chemical properties and filling properties, so that there may be some variance and varieties of materials for this filling purpose. First of all, we have to observe what are those characteristics should be required for a grout materials. It should be groutability, that means it have to be flow from point source to distribution point. And next one is the stability. It should have some stability, otherwise the dispersion will take place and there will be no strength. And the third one is the setting time, so that they have some quantity of a minimum setting time. Otherwise, if the setting time is too large, there will be no use of utilizing those kind of materials. Next one is permanence and toxicity. These two things, permanence means those materials will not be disposed after a application of any loads, and toxicity, those will not give any harmful effect to the groundwater. These are the five different characteristics which will require for a grouting material: groutability, stability, setting time, permanence, and toxicity. So that we have to observe these five properties in different areas. First of all, we have to go for this groutability. What is groutability? How this can be achieved? To obtain a satisfactory performance, grain size distribution should be known, because it shall show the relationship between the grout particle size and void dimensions. Normally, void means a gap. We have to observe the content of void which will be present in the ground layer, and the surrounding particle sizes of the void, and size of the particle in a grouting material. Those three conditions we have to observe. Those will be in satisfactory performance they have to give. First of all, grain size distribution would be known as, because it should be in a shallow or relationship between the grout particle size and void dimension. Normally, if we are having a small size of pipe we are using, so that the grouting particle size is very high, in those conditions there will be no proper flow of this grout materials through this pipe. In those conditions there will be no filling phenomena. So that whenever we are choosing this kind of methods, we have to go for observance. What is the size of the pipe? What is the particle size we are using? Is it able to move through that pipe or not? Next one is pumping pressure should be not less, not to be large enough for particle of soil to be distributed. Next one means pumping pressure. Whenever we are pumping these grouting materials at a larger length, automatically we have to go for giving an artificial pressure, so that those pressures will not having huge amount of stresses causing onto these grouting pipes. Why? Because we are using a large quantity of pressure, and the pipe is not able to resist those pressures. Automatically bursting will be taken at a intermediate points, so that the material will not flow to this void, and automatically the total material and this investment will be wasted. So that we have to observe the pumping pressure, and it will be beared by the pipe or not, and it will be transferred or not. Next one is grouting pressure is limited to 20 kilonewton per meter square. It is the standard grouting pressure we have to go for. And quality of a grout must be sufficiently fluid to enter the soil quickly. That means quality means its strength and performance depends upon the quality of the material. That means it should be not having any impurities. If it is having impurities, automatically the quality of the materials will be decreases. So that quality of grout must be sufficiently fluid to enter into the soil so quickly. That means whenever we are injecting these materials, the materials will have to flow in a normal way without any deviations. The movement should not to be too fast. That means if the movement of the grout materials also not to be very fast, it have to move in a preferred way with preferred velocity, then only there will be some setting property and filling property. If the material is moving very fast, automatically the voids will not be filled. Some of the contents of the voids will be blocked due to this fast movement, and in some of the cases the surrounding materials will be blocks the holes, so that in a particular holes only there will be this filling phenomena takes place. All the remaining holes have to be taken care in another grouting technique. And the rate of injection of the grout depends upon, that means whenever we are using these fluids, we have to go for a specified speed and these materials, so that those conditions we have to satisfy. Which conditions means viscosity of the grout. Viscosity means normally water is having some quantity of viscosity. Whenever two different kinds of materials are mixed together, we have to observe this phenomena of viscosity. If it is entirely liquid materials, it is not having any viscosity. If it is entirely solid material also, it is not having any viscosity. Whenever we are mixing these solid materials and liquid materials, we have to observe this phenomena of viscosity. And next one is the permeability of the soil. Soil means whenever these materials are moving, due to the presence of huge amount of voids in different layers of the soils, those voids will attract the content of water which is present in the grout material, so that the soil should not having any permeable while we are using the grouting materials. And next one is the shear strength of the soil. In some of the cases, we have to go for this arresting of that means shear failure to the structures. In those conditions also, we have to go for this utilization of grouting materials with this retaining wall constructions. Next one are the desirable properties of these grout materials are suitable viscosity, high viscosity for coarse and moderately permeable soils, and low viscosity for fine grained soils with low permeability. And next one is correction of setting time. Third one is maximum volume with minimum weight. That means it should be in lightweight condition, and it have to go for filling of large quantities of volume. Simply it should be very low density material. Third one is the strength purpose also. It should be in low density, and it have to give a large strength whenever we are applying forces. And the stability, whenever we are applying the content of loads on the soil profile, the material have to be in a stable position. That means there will be no vibrations or any other have to be takes place. Last one is the durability. It means it have to bear some of the hydrological forces and erosion forces which will be causing on these structures, so that those are having some durable properties. And next one is the groutability ratio. This groutability ratio is entirely depends upon the sizes of the particles. It means the particle size of the grouting material and particle size of the surrounding soil content. Those two things we have to observe. Depending upon those two things, this grouting ratio will be having. First of all, grouting ratio means D15, that means the diameter of the particle will be having some formation, and D85, that means it is the diameter of the particle which will be used for the purpose of grouting. D15 is the particle size at 15% of the soil is finer content, 85% of the grout is finer content. These two things we have to observe. Here D15 means only 100% of soil is there. In those 100% of the soil, 15% of the soil will be in finer position and the remaining 85% will be in coarser position. Similarly, in the grouting material also, 85% of the particle size will be in finer content. Next one is related to stability. Stability, that means the capacity of grout to remain in a fluid state and not segregate into separate components. In the stability, it is a main phenomena. Stability means there will be no changing. That means if there is a ice is there, normal temperatures ice will be uh, converting into water. At low temperatures, the total water will be converting into ice. There will be no stability to ice whenever we are having this temperature rises. Similarly, here also we have to observe the stability phenomena for grouting materials. Whenever the load is applying on the structure, automatically the matter will not have to deform or any other changes, volumetric changes not have to be takes place. Capacity of grout to remain in a fluid state and not segregate into separate components. Separate components means in the initial stage of mixing, that means grout materials, we have to go for 2 to 3 combinations of materials we have to mix. After that, those materials we have to flow in the grout pipe and those have to be filled. Next one is the settling time. The time required for a grout to be set into a cemented mass of the gel, and early setting causes difficulty in the grout reaching its destination, comma late setting causes to the grout being washed away if seepage is occurring through the soil. Those three are the different variations while we are using these grouting materials and setting time variances. So that whenever we are having early setting causes takes place, that means the grout is not flowing according to the direction due to this late, that means less quantity of velocity of grout materials, there may be a chance to get this early setting, and late setting causes due to this grout being washed away if seepage occurs. That means in the ground itself there may be some content of water. Due to those content of water, there will be some late setting causes. That means huge amount of water is there. First of all, the water will have to remove. In those conditions, there will be late setting takes place. Next one is the permanence. It is the permanence is the activity which gives resistance against this grout processes against displayed from the soil voids with the lime content, that means time. If the time is very large, automatically this resistance of the grout processes against being conditions. Next one is the toxicity, capacity of grouts to contaminate the grout water. Toxicity means there will be some harmful material which will cause some of the effluents to the groundwater. So that we have to remove those kind of toxic materials whenever we are using this grouting material in the grouting materials. Next one has the different kinds of grout materials also we have to observe: suspensions, emulsions, and solutions. In the suspensions, we have to go for this grout particles in suspension in a liquid medium. Normally, suspension means the materials will be flowing on the water. Those things we have to call as a suspended particles. Simply, those are cement plus water. In sometimes clay plus water, likely we have to go for different quantities of suspended materials. And next one is emulsion. Emulsion means a droplets, a minimum minute droplets of liquid in the suspension stage. Simply, some of the paints we have to observe. In those paints, we have to observe these kind of emulsions, distemper likely. Here also, those kind of materials we have to use for the purpose of grouting phenomena. In those, what we are having is asphalt or bitumen with, with the combination of water. Normally, asphalt and bitumen both are petroleum products. Whenever we are using these contents of petroleum with the help of water, so that those will be acting as an emulsions. And next condition is solution, a liquid homogeneous mixture of two or more materials. Normally it is a chemical grout. Solutions means a liquid homogeneous mixture with two or more materials. Means in the previous case we have observed some of the things, cement plus water. It is a only two materials, cement and water. But in case of two or more materials, we have to go for the utilization of fine aggregate, and in some of the cases we have to go for admixture. Those conditions will be act as a solutions more than two materials. And the next one is the suspensions grouts with grouting in the soil conditions. First one, GR should be greater than 20. That means the grouting resin should be greater than 20, and soil can be used to fill up voids in coarse grained soils. Soil used as a grout in very fine grained soils, and clay grouts to reduce permeability, and kaolinite and little based clays, those will decreases the low viscosities and filler grouts. And bentonite, it is one of the clay, bentonite clay to control viscosity, strength and flow properties. And mud jacketing to raise the pavement slabs and underpin shallow building foundations. These are the different kinds of materials which we are using for the purpose of grouting techniques. Normally those are available in the ground itself. We won't have to invest money. In those, first one is the soil used as a grout. In those conditions also only we have to take very fine grained soil. Why? Because if it is a soil is coarse grained, there will be no proper bonding with the content of water, so that we have to take a fine grained soil, and we have to go for mixing those fine grained soil with water. And then we have, there will be some formation of paste. Whenever we are injecting this paste into the void, after a few hours the total water will be evaporated, and the mass material will be simply fills this void content. And similarly we are having this clay grout. It is also used for the purpose of reduction in permeability. Normally permeability means due to the content of voids and air gaps between the materials, those will attract the water particles. Whenever we are going for this clay grouts, automatically those voids will be filled by this clay content and grout material content, so that there will be no chance to attract water. Similarly, kaolinite and light based clays, those will give low viscosities and filler groutings. Next one is bentonite. It is used for the purpose of controlling viscosity and strengthen the flow properties. And mud jacketing is to raise pavement slabs and to underpin shallow building foundations. Next one is the suspension grouts, comma grouting with cements. In the previous case, we have observed the total materials are, that means grouting materials are related to soil content and some quantity of utilization of water. But here we have to observe the total suspension grouts are related to this cementitious material. That means more quantity of calcium is there. It is suitable for the purpose of cracks or voids which are wider than zero point 0.2 mm. Normally, this kind of grouts we have to apply whenever there may be cracks. We have to observe in concrete structures like these canals and dams. All those are concrete structures. In those also, due to this variance of pressure in the water, there will be some crack formations takes place. In those conditions, we have to go for this application of cementitious grouting. Usually, those are formed from OPC and water. The major contents we are using in these cementitious grouting materials are ordinary Portland cement with the help of water. Water will gives a gluey nature to the cement, so that water we are using, and the ratio is water cement ratio is 0.5 is to 1 and to 5 is to 1, depends upon the crack width. And next one is the rapid hardening cement. Rapid hardening cement means whenever we are having cracks in hydraulic structures, that means the structures which are located nearer to the water bodies, in those conditions we have to go for this rapid hardening cement. It is preferred in grounds with flowing water conditions. Next one, super sulfated cement. Super sulfated cement means with the super sulfated cement we are having excessive content of sulfur. Means calcium content normally we are having in the cement. In addition to this calcium content, the excessive content of sulfur is also present. For fissured rocks, that means due to this sulfur content there will be more strength and stability will be giving to the rock structures. Especially it is used for fissured rocks. Next one is admixtures such as bentonite used to keep the cement particles which are in suspension case, and seepage out of beneath dams and groundwater control. Normally this cementitious grout moreoverly we are using for the purpose of construction activities like dams and some other constructions related to these water structures and these rock structures. For those conditions only we are utilizing this cementitious grouting. And next one is the emulsion grout or asphalt emulsions. In this anionic or cationic asphalt, globules are manufactured by choosing this proper emulsifying agent. Normally, emulsions means in the previous sentences we have studied some asphalt or bitumen emulsions we are utilizing for the purpose of filling voids. Here, what they are utilizing is cationic and anionic asphaltic globules. In the asphalt itself, they are completely changing their ionic values. If the total particle having a negative, those are called as anionic, and it is positive, those are calling as cationic asphaltic globules. Those are responsible to bond with surrounding material and fill the content of void. The globules 1 to 2 micrometers dia, along with this water used as a grout to fill soil voids and rock fixtures. And rock fixtures of 10 micrometer size and medium silts can also be grouted by utilizing these emulsion grouts and asphalt emulsions. Next thing is slow setting emulsions generally chosen. They can travel longer distance into the material. Why? Because the cracks, in some of the cases the cracks having two quantities, active crack and passive crack. If it is a passive crack, we have to go for previous conditions. If it is a active crack, we have to inject the material with high pressure. Why? Because we have to observe how much length it having, And next one is the solutions of grouts with some quantities of chemicals. Especially we have to utilize these chemical grouts with silicates, acrylates, and resins, and those will solidify by chemical actions. And seepage barriers, stabilization of soils around tunnels. All those things we have to go for this chemical grouting materials. And the next one is principle of injection, permeation, comma grouting. Chemical grouts like silicates and acrylate resins are takes place solidified by chemical reaction. And some of the cases we have to observe seepage barriers. It means seepage barriers means the total water will be seeped from one quantity of soil to another quantity of soil. In those cases also we have to go for a separate stabilization. It is one of the method. A person is simply observing the voids which are presented below the ground level, and there may be some equipment is there. That means the total pump is injected into the ground layers, and she was simply sending some quantity of waves. Those waves will simply give the presence of these voids in the soil. According to those void content, they will pump the materials with the quantity of pressure and some techniques. All those are some chemical methods, or cement coatings or acrylic coating or asphalt coatings, depending upon the soil conditions and types of these materials they have to go for. On the other hand, we are having this high pressure hydraulic pump. This will give a lot of pressure to flow that particular glue materials into the voids. In the grouting also they are having some different quantities of terms. First one is the grouting systems is entirely divided into one shot and two shots. In some of the cases, the material is not suitable. That means the material is not able to fill the void in one condition. That means one shot. In those cases, we have to go for another second kind of treatment. In the preliminary stage, we have to go for one quantity of material. After that, we have to go for another quantity of material, so that in those two cases we have to complete the total grouting action. For some of the soils, a single grouting is needed. That means a single grouting is essential. That means a single grouting is enough to complete this filling of voids. Here we are having C1, C2. The C1, C2 are the chemicals which are using for the purpose of grouting in 1 and 2 processes. And T is the injection pump. That means injection pump will directly flow, gives those contents of water. And P is the pump attached to this content, and F is the flow meter, how much quantity of material is flowing through the pump. Those also we have to measure to estimate the void. That means the volume of the void. And V is the inlet valve, and P dash we are having pressure gauges. All those are simply the processes which are using for the grouting and calculating the content of materials which we are grouting. These are simply one shot and two shot process. And the major difference between the one shot and two shot process is all chemicals are injected together after pre-mixing. That means pre-mixing means in the initial stage we have to combine two, by minimum of two materials to form a resin. Those resin we have to pump into the ground. Setting time is controlled by varying the catalyst concentration according to the grout concentration, water composition, and temperatures. All those are related to one shot system. In the one shot system, we have to go for a pre-mixing of materials. After that, we have to go for some catalyst. And the purpose of catalyst is to accelerate the reaction. That means whenever we are using these catalysts, those catalysts are responsible to accelerate the reaction and forming bond. Next one is the two-shot system. In this, one chemical is injected and followed by an injection of a second chemical which reacts with the first and to produce a gel which subsequently hardens. This is slower and required higher injection pressure and more closely spaced grout holes. By these systems, we have to observe. In the one-shot system, what we are doing is two materials are primarily, that means preliminary we have mixing the two materials and then we are pumping with the help of these external pressure pumps. But in case of two-shot systems, we are not mixing the materials. In the preliminary stage, we are pumping one fluid. After some time we are mixing that, we are pumping another material with some quantities of pressures, and then those two materials are simply mixing and strengthening by forming these bonds. This is the difference between a one shot system and a two shot system. And how these grouting procedures will be employed. First of all, we have discussed different quantities of grouting techniques and materials used for the purpose of grouting. But we have know all those things. But how these procedures we have to employ, in which stages we have to carry out this process, and what are the special techniques we have to require while we are doing these grouting procedures. First of all, depending upon the material to be grouted, whether in the rock strata or natural soil strata or any other sandy soil strata, we have to observe the quality and purpose of the grouting. That means quality means the quality of the structure and the quality of the materials we are using. And the second thing is purpose of grouting. By on which purpose we are utilizing this grouting, whether to arrest the water or to arrest seepage or to give extra strength to the soil, in which condition we are using this grouting. And a well planned procedure had to be adopted to attain the desired result. It means if it is a grouting which were employed to arrest the failure of a slope, or to arrest the penetration of water, to arrest the failure of particles, all those things we have to observe. In those things we need to require ground investigations. That means in this particular ground investigations we have to go for the type of soil and physical properties and chemical properties of the soils. And next one is the grout holes pattern. How these grout holes are arranged in the soil structure. That means whether it is a root like system or a single wall system or any other system which is related to this mechanism of grout hole. Next one is grouting plant and equipment. Grouting plant means whether we have to take those materials in a simplified phase, or we have to go for this equipment, calling for equipment and machinery. And a grouting sequence, that means grouting sequence means in which conditions we have to utilize. The total grouting takes place in a single phase or any other multiple phases we have to go for. And grouting methods, whether we have to employ one shot method or two shot methods, it is depending upon grouting conditions. First of all, we have to go for this grout investigation. It provides regarding the ground, whether it can be grouted or not, and the choice of grouts and types and amount of materials required. Includes both geological survey. That means geological survey means the layer by layer we have to observe. And what is the preliminary layer? What quantity of materials it having? After the secondary layer what we having, and third tertiary layer what we are having. According to those surveys we have to go for these groutings. And the second case we have to go for this drilling of boreholes. and a collection of samples, and we need to go for this laboratory tests for physical properties and these technical properties of the soil conditions. And how those grout holes we have to provide. In the figure we have to observe those grout holes, positive and negative. Based upon the nature of work, the number of drill holes and the depth of the pattern to be decided depending upon the nature of work and quantity of voids present in the soil. Those two conditions, these grout holes will be depends upon. Follows the grid pattern such that radius of penetration is sufficient to cause slight overlapping between the adjacent holes. Okay, tomorrow's class we have to discuss of further things.